Welcome to this training session on benchmarking. What is benchmarking? Many of you may be aware or some of you may not be aware. But the purpose of this training is to make you aware on what is benchmarking and how an organization can work towards benchmarking its products or performance or any factor. Now, let us consider an organization which is interested in benchmarking its product. Say, television manufacturing company wants to establish in the market that the product what it is selling is the best available in the market. So what is to be done? One important thing is you should know what are the various television sets available in the market sold by various manufacturers and what features are available in those television sets. What is the price of those television sets? And compare all the properties and parameters with your television set. Then you will come to know there are some parameters on which your television set is better than the others sold in the market. At the same time, there are some parameters which are just equal or inferior to what is available in the market. So, when you want to establish a brand name which is supposed to be best available in the market for your brand of television set, you have to improve the rating parameters. Those are found to be inferior or not equal up to the point of comparison with other television sets available in the market. So, the basic thing for benchmarking is you should understand what are the parameters which are to be considered to establish the benchmarking and what is the level of performance or rating or the gradation what you can give for your product compared to what is available from the competitors. Once you establish this, then you will come to know that these are the parameters on which you have to improve the product. Then the organization can set objectives for improving those parameters and work on that to improve the performance of the television sets. When the performance becomes equal or better than what is available in the market, and if you re-evaluate your product with competitors, and if you find all the parameters of your product is better than what is available in the market, then you are establishing a benchmark for your products. So when such a benchmark is achieved, established for your product, definitely more customers will buy your product and your product image will improve in the market segment. Therefore, if an organization wants to become market leader, it is not just enough to concentrate and make the business processes very efficient and make yourself a declaration that what you are doing is best. But you have to evaluate your processes comparing with what is practiced by other leading organizations, and then decide whether you are equal to or better than or at a lower level than other organizations. By doing this, you will come to know what are the areas where you can improve your processes to make it better. So, this can be achieved by benchmarking process. This is what we are looking in benchmarking. Now let us come to the definition of benchmarking. How to define benchmarking? It is a continuous systematic process of evaluating the products, services and work processes of organizations that are considered to be representing the best ones in your area. That is, you can also define in an appropriate manner of how to define benchmarking is assimilate. That is, you learn, understand and absorb what is best available in the surroundings in your system. Another term used is pragmatic, that is concerned with practical consequences. These terms are more accurately reflect the intent of benchmarking, that is learning from others and applying that knowledge to one's own business practices in a practical manner. Now let us consider a practical example. In a basketball match tournament, a few teams will be aiming for a gold medal. To reach this target, coach trains them by preparing for the matches. This process starts almost a year before the start of matches. So many parameters are taken into consideration to make the team strong. One of the parameters is watching the matches played by the opponent teams who are likely to win gold medal in the tournament. By this process of watching, they learn about the playing techniques adopted by other teams. They understand what tactics, that is process changes, are needed while playing with individual teams to win the match. This is considered as very important activity for improving the performance of the team. This gives ideas to the team regarding what additional efforts are needed to win the match. Therefore, watching the game played by opponents is very useful in basketball match or in fact any other game, including business. What we do in benchmarking is similar. Instead of inventing methods for every process improvement, we also keep our eyes and ears open and watch what is happening in the industry to learn, understand and assimilate in the system. Some of you may ask a question: is it necessary to do benchmarking for an organization to improve the performance? Why this technique is to be adopted? I can cite an example to put an end to this question or the doubt if organizations are having. Most of you may be familiar with Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. The award criteria consists of 7 categories, and one of them is describe the company's approach to selecting quality related competitive comparisons and world-class benchmarks to support quality planning, evaluation and improvement. I think with this example, it will put an end to anyone who is arguing whether it is necessary to include benchmarking as a tool for organization improvements. Okay. Now let us go back to some interesting background on this benchmarking. That is, where from the word benchmark came. Actually, this benchmarking came from competition that was taking place in fish market. Some people say there used to be a tough competition among the fishermen to attract customers. What they did was they made marks on the bench with a knife to demonstrate the length of fish. This was to demonstrate to customers that they are getting more quantity compared to other shops. Thus, benchmarking helped to attract customers. This traditional word of benchmarking is used by the fishermen is adopted in industry as a tool for improvements. Now let us consider what are the drivers for benchmarking. There are both external drivers and internal drivers. Now let us consider what are the external drivers for benchmarking. 1. Customers always demand for better products, lower price, shorter delivery periods and so on. 2. Tighter laws, legislations demanding improvements. And what are the internal drivers? Targets requiring improving on the best ever results achieved. Technology changes in processes to benefit from new technology introductions. Self-assessment results, providing opportunities to learn from adopting best practices. How to go about? Number 1, creating better understanding of current position. That is, developing realistic goals, establishing realistic plans. Now let us look at different parameters and types of benchmarking. What are the parameters on which you can do benchmarking? Performance, process, strategies. These are some examples. Similarly, what are the types of benchmarking? You can do benchmarking internal, you can do benchmarking with competitors, functional benchmarking, or can be generic. Now let us consider what is the purpose and impacts of benchmarking. Purpose. You want to attain best product, consistency in service through benchmarking. You want to achieve superior delivery performance. You want to achieve very quick or speed response to customers. Also, you want to offer best possible price to customers. So these are the purpose of doing benchmarking. You want to make sure the price offered to customers is best among all the competitors. You want to see you are able to respond very quickly to the customer requirements, and performance on this is best among all the people. Similarly, what is the impact of benchmarking? When you do benchmarking and take action to achieve the results, many impacts would be there. Example, You may be reducing the rejections, you may be improving the yield, you may be reducing the waste generation in your processes. Inventory levels may go down, work in progress also may get reduced, operational costs may get optimized, staff turnover may get reduced, business growth will be taking place. Like this, you may get so many impacts after doing benchmarking and completing the benchmarking work activity. And now let us consider what improvement takes place in absenteeism reduction by doing the benchmarking. You can see the absenteeism level, comparison in industry, and what you can infer from that. For example, 1 to 3% absenteeism, it may be matching with all excellent organizations. In that case, you may not have to do any further efforts to improve the attendance or reduce the absenteeism. This may be better, it may be the best available thing in the market. Then absenteeism is at 3 to 5% level. It may be matching with local industries. It may be a realistic situation, likely possibility to improve by innovative means. Because when absenteeism is 3 to 5%, it looks there is a scope to reduce the absenteeism by some means. So you have to adopt some innovative method and improve the attendance. Then if the absenteeism is at 5 to 7% level, it is at a higher side in some departments within the organization side, within the organization. That means there is a definite scope to improve the performance of departments where the absenteeism is more. Then 5 to 7% absenteeism, and this level is higher than other local industries. If you infer like this, it means there is a definite scope to improve the attendance by reducing the absenteeism, and you may fix target and act on it. Similarly, if the absenteeism level is at 5 to 7%, it may be matching with competitors, because comparing the absenteeism level with competitors may not be much relevant, because the geographical conditions, locations of the competitors may be different from your location, and the social factors and other factors may differ. Therefore, you cannot make a one-to-one comparison on absenteeism with competitors. Therefore, you have to look a better means for comparison. Similarly, if the absenteeism is at 5 to 7% and it is inferior to the industry performance, if that is the conclusion, if you look at all the industries, absenteeism level is around 4 to 5%, whereas yours is 5 to 7%. This means there is a definite scope to reduce the absenteeism. So, this is an illustration to demonstrate where you can act on to reduce the absenteeism, where you have to live with same level because you may not be able to further improve, and where it may not be worth to compare with other places because of so many other factors. So you have to have some knowledge or idea on, while doing benchmarking, by looking at the comparative values, where exactly you can take action to improve upon. That is important. What for all this benchmarking studies? It is not just for comparing to evaluate, but it is for learning where to improve your processes, activities, and derive benefits. So the purpose is not only comparison, it is to understand where you can make efforts to improve upon. one does not compare only the key figures, although performance measures are important element in the comparison. By looking at those who are better in performing their processes, one can learn how they have achieved higher performance levels. The learning effects are not limited to information available from competitors. It is rather encouraged to take external view, seeking the best companies regardless of industry. Benchmarking should be according to the structural process where oneself harvests the learning effects. That is, you have to look not only at with competitors, you have to look at the industry and see where exactly you can make a comparison and find out ways and means for improving the performance. That is what is expected in benchmarking. We talked about different types of benchmarking earlier. Just to remind you, these things are on benchmarking is on performance, process, strategies, and it can be internal benchmarking with competitors, benchmarking on functional parameters, or it can be general. So that's to keep you informed of what are the types of benchmarking. Now let us consider different types of benchmarking and what are the advantages in each as well disadvantages. Example, internal benchmarking. What is internal benchmarking? It is a similar activities in different locations, departments, operating units, country, etc. of the same organization. One example is SBI Chennai region and SBI Mumbai region. Advantage is data collection is easy, it is reliable, good results for excellent companies. Disadvantage is limited focus and internal bias. Now look at the competitors. If you try to benchmark by comparing with competitors, different direct competitors selling the same customer base, that is the competitor. Example, Central Bank. Central Bank is a competitor to State Bank selling same product. Advantage is information relevant to the business results, comparable practices, technologies, history of information gathering. So these are the advantages. Disadvantages, difficult to collect data, ethical issues, antagonistic attitudes. That is, when you go and try to collect information from central bank, it may be very difficult because they will think you are a competitor and why should we share, and there will be a lot of hurdles in that. Ethical issue, there is somebody may feel it is a confidential matter, how it can be shared, other things. Now you look at functional benchmarking. You look at organizations recognized as having state-of-art products, services or processes. Example, Standard Chartered Bank. Advantages, high potential for discovering readily transferable technical practices, development of professional networks, access to relevant databases. What is the disadvantage? There is a difficulty in transferring practices in different environments. Some information not transferable and also it may be time consuming. So these are the advantages and disadvantages in different types of benchmarking when you are focusing. Right. Let us look at benchmarking on different parameters. When you take different types of areas for focus. Now let us see performance. For performance benchmarking, if you take internal factors and compare, you may get definitely some results which are going to help you. But when you look at competitors and then do the benchmarking, you will get more and more results, because whatever competitor is doing, the areas wherever he is doing better, you can identify and incorporate and make yourself equal or better than the competitor, and thereby you will have a better advantage. If you look at the functional benchmarking, it may be a difficult thing because different environment, different types of operations. So you will definitely get something, but not like what you get with competitor. If you take a generic type, then there may not be much information together. You will get something. If you look at the process benchmarking, if you have internal, yes, you will get something. Competitor, you may not get much from competitor comparison. But functional comparison, yes, there is a scope to get a lot. Because if you look at a very good company where things are done in a very systematic way and a lot of a lot of benefits are derived, then you can learn from that what can be incorporated and gained for you. Similarly for generic. Generic also is a process where you can look at any industry and then easy to access, because generic means it may not be a competitor, and you will easily get the information. You can have a understanding, sharing information, and you will get a good result. If you want to do strategic benchmarking, then internal comparison may not be of that much useful. But when you look at the competitors and then do the strategic benchmarking, you will get a lot of benefits and information. So it will be very useful. Same way, the functional and generic are very limited in terms of getting knowledge on strategic and what strategy the organization will be focusing, and how you can gain from the functional working of a good company or any generic company. So what you see from this, when you look at the competitor, there is a scope to get a lot of information and then improve upon. And when you also look at the functional and generic, it will be useful for process improvements. That way it is a very specific thing. Otherwise there may not be much benefit by looking functional types for benchmarking activities. So what you conclude is, internal benchmarking has limited scope for identifying new information. Strategic benchmarking internally is of no use. Competitive benchmarking is very useful when comparing performance levels or strategies. Process benchmarking against competitors is very difficult due to barriers. Functional and generic benchmarking yield highest benefits when combined with process benchmarking. Comparing performance measures and strategies with functional and generic benchmarking has got limited use. That is it. Now let us look at what are the main attractions in benchmarking. See, benchmarking helps an organization to understand and develop a critical attitude towards its own processes. It gives confidence that tasks are leading to better results as seen elsewhere. Thus, motivation for change is promoted. New ideas for improvement are obtained. a reference point for measuring company's performance is established. See, when you do benchmarking and compare with various organizations, you will come to know whatever you are doing may not be the best. Still, there are opportunities to improve because other organizations are performing better than you. So there is a motivation for you to make changes. That is a advantage. Also, you get new ideas for improvement, and you get a reference point for measuring the company's performance. Because when you are not having a benchmarking, what is the level of achievement you can make? You are not very clear, you may not know also. If you achieve, let us say, 95% yield, you may think that is the best possible. And it may be true also. Unless you compare how other industries are performing, you will not know whether this is the best result or there is a scope for improvement. Therefore, benchmarking by comparing with other industries will give you opportunity, and also you can make a reference point for improving the performance. Suppose you have seen 2-3 companies and then found out similar companies, and found out the yield level is 97%. So immediately you get an idea that 95% what you are getting is not the best. Still there is a scope. You can also improve up to 97% because other organization is already achieving that. Therefore, you get a motivation for doing, plus also you get a reference point up to which you can move. All these things are possible by doing the benchmarking activities. Now let us come to the actions. How are you going to benchmark some of the parameters and achieve the results? One is, first you determine what are you going to benchmark. Is it on the production performance, delivery performance, or product quality, or whatever information you want, whatever parameter you want to benchmark, you decide. Second is form a benchmark team. Generally, any benchmarking activity or any activity, you have to form a team. Who is going to be the leader, members, and what responsibilities each has got. Then identify benchmark partners. That is more important, because with whom or with which organization you are going to work and then do the benchmarking activity. Finally, you have to establish a mechanism for collection of data, analysis of the data on benchmark information. After doing all this, you will derive some factors. Then to achieve that result, you will start taking action. Now let us consider one example of benchmarking. You want to establish a benchmark on delivery performance. Present delivery performance of your organization is 10 days from the date of receipt of order to supply of product at customer end. This you want to reduce it, because customers are always demanding that your delivery period is long and we want to have a quick delivery. So what you will do, you will try to see what should be the benchmark for the delivery performance. For that, you will form a benchmark team. And then you will identify who are the competitors who are giving the product, same product, and then try to see who can cooperate with you for doing this activity and identify the partners. Then you start collecting the data, analyzing the data on benchmark information, and finally you are taking action. Here for the delivery performance, you may find the competitors, some are having delivery day period 10 days, somebody 8 days, some are having 14 days. So you want to decide how the competitor is achieving delivery date of 8 days, whereas yours is 10 days, how he is getting this 10-day delivery, what practices they are following. So you will try to collect information, analyze and find out by what means they are achieving delivery period of 8 days. Then you may try to fix a target of delivery time of 7 days and then start taking action so that you will be ahead of the competitor in terms of delivery by improvement actions. So this is how you complete the benchmark activity. Now we have to understand one important thing, that is, don't think by doing benchmarking activity you will achieve best result in the organization, because benchmarking is one of the tools for improving the performance of the organization, and there are so many other tools also which are to be deployed to get overall organization performance improvement. Example, when you look at the improvement, you have got a new technology which can help to improve performance, TQM, TPM practices, ISO 9001 implementation, statistical process control, Six Sigma techniques, benchmarking, Kaizen activity, innovative process changes. So like this, you may do so many activities, or you will use so many tools and techniques to improve the performance of the organization. And we want to inform you that benchmarking is one among the various tools deployed for the improvement of the organization. Therefore, don't just think only by benchmarking you can achieve everything on what the organization wants to achieve. So it is one of the tools, but definitely this is also an important tool which you have to use for improvement. So this is what we want to convey to you at the end of this training session, that benchmarking is an activity which will be very helpful for an organization to improve the performance. And how to do the benchmarking we have described in the previous slides on how the things can be planned and achieved, what are the different types of benchmarking, how to implement action, what is the word benchmarking, all the things you are understood. And also finally you should remember this is one among the many tools deployed for the organizational improvement. Okay, thank you.